Who told you who you are? Was it something someone said when you were young? A moment when you failed? A label you accepted without question? And more importantly, have you ever stopped to ask yourself if it was true? C.S. Lewis once wrote, "We are what we believe we are." Think about that. Not what others say we are, not what the world expects us to be, but what we believe we are. That belief is powerful. It silently shapes how we walk into rooms, how we speak up or stay quiet, how we chase our goals or shrink from them. So let me ask you plainly, are you who you believe you are? Right here at the start, you heard the title, Decide Who You Are, Then Become It. That is not just inspiration. It is a challenge, a reflection, a call to action. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on how your inner beliefs, especially the ones you rarely speak aloud, and are quietly designing your life. These thoughts may feel harmless, but they determine everything. They guide your decisions, your confidence, your sense of what is possible. And I want you to pause for a moment. What if your greatest limitations are not real at all, but ideas you accepted without testing them? What might happen if you stopped believing that you are not enough? Before we go, kindly like this video and subscribe to this channel. Pause. Let's take a closer look at it. What did C.S. Lewis really mean when he said, "We are what we believe we are"? He was not being poetic or abstract. He was stating a truth as plain and literal as gravity. The way you see yourself shapes the course of your life. It is not just a description of who you are. It becomes the very foundation of who you turn into. The belief you carry inside quietly writes your story, even when you are not aware of it. Ask yourself this. When you strip away the roles, expectations, and noise around you, what is the story you tell yourself about who you are? Do you see someone capable of rising to challenges? Do you believe you are worthy of being loved and respected? Do you feel creative, curious, resilient? Or have you absorbed other voices that told you you are lazy, average, not enough, and slowly let those words settle in as truth? Consider the student who believes they are bad at math. That belief becomes a roadblock. They stop putting in effort, and the failure they feared becomes their reality. Not because they lacked potential, but because the belief shut the door before they could even try. Or think of someone who sees themselves as not leadership material. They hold back, stay quiet, and never apply for the roles that would have revealed their hidden strengths. Meanwhile, a person who tells themselves they are adaptable begins to meet uncertainty with confidence. They do not shrink from change. They lean into it. What others see as disruption, they experience as momentum. Belief is powerful. It is not simply a mirror reflecting your current self. It is a mold shaping your future. It determines how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you approach setbacks and opportunities. It influences the courage in your voice and the direction of your choices. The most extraordinary part is this. No one else chooses that belief for you. You do. Whether it builds you or breaks you, it is yours to accept or reject. So the real question becomes, what are you choosing to believe about yourself today? So here is the question. Are you who you believe you are? You just heard the title, Decide Who You Are, Then Become It. That idea may sound bold, but it is far more practical than it seems. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on something deeply personal. something that touches everything. Your relationships, your goals, your confidence, and your sense of possibility. We are talking about belief, the kind that sits quietly inside your mind, often unnoticed. The kind you rarely speak aloud, but follow like a script. These beliefs shape how you see yourself and how you show up in the world. Ask yourself, who gave you the beliefs you live by? Was it your parents? A teacher? Was it society? A stranger? Or a moment that shook you? And perhaps more importantly, are those beliefs actually true? Or are they just familiar? Many of our core beliefs are not born from truth, but inherited through repetition. Childhood conditioning plays a role. The things we were praised or criticized for, the names we were called, the expectations we were handed. Over time, those messages settle in. They form the background music of our identity. Cultural norms and stereotypes also feed into this, telling us who we are supposed to be, what is allowed, what is admirable, and what is out of reach. Some beliefs come from trauma or sharp turning points. A single moment of rejection, failure, or humiliation can echo for years, whispering that we are not good enough or not built for success. Others come from consistent praise, creating pressure to always perform or live up to a label. Either way, those beliefs begin to shape the boundaries of our self-image. They become our emotional compass. But here is the insight most people never consider. Many of your most defining beliefs were planted before you had the awareness or experience to question them. They took root before you understood how powerful they could become. And like weeds in a garden, they have quietly shaped your growth or choked it. What if everything you've believed about yourself was never really yours to begin with? That question is not meant to create fear. It is meant to spark freedom. Because once you realize belief is not something fixed, but something chosen, you get to decide again. You get to rewrite the script. You get to tell a new story, not the one someone else handed you, but the one you build with intention. Here is the good news. Beliefs can be changed. You are not locked into a version of yourself that someone else defined. You are not bound to the identity shaped by old comments, outdated assumptions, or moments that made you doubt your worth. The beliefs you carry are not permanent. They are choices. And what has been chosen once can be chosen again, this time with intention. So here is a powerful question to consider. What is one belief you could adopt today that would change how you show up tomorrow? This is not about pretending or playing pretend. It is about aligning your beliefs with the version of yourself you are ready to grow into. It begins with awareness, and it can be done using a simple but powerful three-step framework. The first step is to identify the belief. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself that may be holding me back? It could be a thought like, I am not smart enough, or I always fail at this, or I do not belong here. Get clear. Put it into words. When you name the belief, you start to loosen its grip. The second step is to question its source. Where did this belief come from? Was it something someone said in anger? Was it a passing comment that somehow stayed with you? Was it shaped by fear, insecurity, or comparison? And here is the key question. Is it fact, or is it fear? Not every thought deserves your trust. Some beliefs may have once served a purpose, like protecting you from rejection or helping you fit in. But that does not mean they should guide your life forever. The third step is to replace the belief intentionally. What new belief better reflects who you want to become? Instead of thinking, I am not leadership material, what if you said, I am learning to lead with confidence? Instead of, I always mess things up, what if you believed, I am growing through every experience? This is not about telling yourself a lie. It is about telling yourself a better truth, one that is rooted in possibility and growth. You do not have to lie to yourself. Just stop lying against yourself. There is a difference. Believing in your potential is not arrogance. It is permission. Permission to try. Permission to grow. Permission to take up space and redefine who you are. Remember the message we began with. Decide who you are, then become it. That journey starts with one new belief, and from there, everything can begin to shift. Meanwhile, there is a quiet weight we often carry without realizing it. It is the cost of staying the same. We convince ourselves that standing still is safer than taking a risk. But the truth is, doing nothing also has a price. So ask yourself, what is staying the same costing you right now? Maybe it is the peace you crave but cannot seem to find. Maybe it is a relationship that leaves you feeling unseen or unheard. Maybe it is a career that no longer fits who you are becoming. Or maybe it is your own sense of self, slowly wearing thin under the strain of beliefs that no longer serve you. The danger of not changing is not just that life stays the same. It is that over time, you begin to believe that this is all you are meant for. You start to forget that you ever wanted more. You become so used to the discomfort that it begins to feel normal. And that is where the silent cost creeps in. It shows up in your energy, in your motivation, in the way your dreams slowly shrink to fit a version of you that was never accurate to begin with. Here is a difficult truth. Some people will go through their entire lives without ever realizing that they were never broken. They simply believed they were. Their self-image was shaped by fear, rejection, past pain, and they accepted it as truth. No one told them they could question it. No one reminded them that who they were told they were is not the same as who they truly are. But that does not have to be your story. You do not have to wait for permission to change. You do not have to carry those old beliefs any longer. You can start fresh. You can begin again. And it begins with one powerful question. What do I want to believe about myself now? That question holds more power than it seems. It invites you to release the labels and rewrite the narrative. It gives you a way forward that does not depend on anyone else's approval. Just your willingness to believe something new. Just your courage to take one small step in a better direction. Change is not always loud. Sometimes it begins in silence, in a moment of honesty, in the quiet decision to stop shrinking, in the gentle but firm choice to believe you are worth the effort it takes to grow. So ask yourself, what do I want to believe about myself now? Because that belief might just be the key to everything you have been waiting for. In conclusion, take a quiet moment for yourself right now. Set everything else aside and ask a simple but life-altering question. What belief am I ready to leave behind? What truth am I finally ready to embrace? These are not just words for thought. These are invitations to reclaim the story you are telling yourself about who you are. Maybe there is a belief that has followed you for years. One that told you you were not capable, not worthy, not smart enough, not strong enough. Maybe that belief came from someone else's words. Or maybe it crept in after a failure or moment of rejection. Whatever its source, you are allowed to let it go. And in its place, you are allowed to adopt something better. A truth that lifts you. A truth that reminds you of your value, your power, and your potential. If any part of this video spoke to you, if a sentence landed, if a question made you pause, if a shift happened inside you, please share it in the comments. Do not share it only for me or for the community, but for the person who might come across this video feeling the same way you once did. Your words could be the lifeline someone else needs. Your story could be the mirror that helps another person see themselves clearly for the first time. This channel exists for one reason: to help you slow down, to help you reflect on the life you are living and ask deeper questions that lead to meaningful change. We are not here to impress each other. We are here to grow together, to uncover the patterns that keep us small and to replace them with possibilities that stretch us into who we are meant to become. Who you are today is not the full story. It is just the current chapter. And chapters change. You have every right to become someone new. Not because you were never enough, but because growth is your birthright. Healing is possible. Becoming is possible. So, again, ask yourself with honesty, what belief am I ready to leave behind? And what truth am I ready to live by now? Start there. The rest will follow.